Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Sunday. Is it Sunday? Yeah, it's Sunday. I hope you had a good weekend. So today I feel like I'm a little bit late. I am reviewing the NikkieTutorials and Beauty Bay eyeshadow palette. I need to be honest with you, I did start to use this the other day, and I was not in the right mind frame. I was so tired, I was so exhausted, and I was trying to film really early, and I got halfway through the look and I was like, I don't want to do it. I can't do it anymore. So I used the palette a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit about that as I go. So we will be creating a look with that. So I've already done my brows and my eyeshadow base. What eye is that? This one? Why does that look like it's got nothing on it? But just before we get into that today, if this is your first time here on my channel, welcome. My name is Robert. I'm a professional makeup artist here on YouTube and also in real life, and it is my goal to help you become a pro yourself or just someone who's really good at makeup. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then please consider subscribing. So let's take a look at this palette. A lot of people, when a palette is like announced, a lot of people message me and say, review this palette, review this palette. No one messaged me until maybe a few days later after Nikkie's reveal video. And they were like, please review it. And I was like, so you're a little bit late. So then I was like, what do people think? And everyone was slightly underwhelmed by the palette. I do have to say, when I watched the video, I was too myself slightly underwhelmed. But I'm looking in my monitor here, and I have to be honest with you, the colours don't quite pop as much as they do in real life. Like, I'm looking at the shade Aura right here, and on my monitor, and I don't know if it's going to look like it on camera, it looks very flat, whereas I look at it here and it's this amazing like orangey peachy gold. Same with Ivy up here, just kind of looks like this like white shine, but it has like a really nice creamy texture to it as well. Vla, which is this one here, looks really vibrant when I'm looking at it. Bend and Snap as well, and also Redemption right here looks incredible as a color. So I can see why people are a little bit like, oh, but it looks incredible, and it's all in color as well. Looks insane. So I already have some palettes from Beauty Bay. I have their own brand eyeshadow palettes. I have the big all matte color one, and then I have the small color one. I can never remember the names. And I have the collaboration they did with Mitchell, and I also have their pastel palettes, which I really liked. I liked all of them. The texture for Mitchell palette was incredible, so I don't know whether they differ when they collaborate with influencers, but it did seem a little bit more pigmented, maybe because it's more pressed pigment, like this palette I believe is also. So I'm not going to talk about the packaging. Personal preference, this side would be the whole palette if it was up to me, but from what I understand, Nikkie wanted to show two sides. Talking about packaging is boring, even though it's a beautiful package. So let's talk about the other day. I was making this look. I used the color Amsterdam, and oh my god, it gave me so much grief. I did not like it at all. It was so... I think I was having an off day, if I'm honest with you. So this is kind of like a second chance for me. I'm not going to use it though, because I just don't like it as a color, and I don't like the texture. I think it's a little bit patchy, and when you blend over the top of it, you can definitely build it up, and oh my god, it comes out so pigmented. But when you go to blend like over the color, it kind of just fades away. So we're going to create something a little bit different. I actually get the majority of my makeup from Beauty Bay, so I'm going to use a few other bits that I have from Beauty Bay, not just their own, but other brands as well. So let's zoom in a tiny bit, not too close today, I feel. Okay, so, just before, everyone always asks, in my eyebrows today, I have Pink Honey, Honey Glue Tint Hold. I don't actually put any pencil or, anything in my brows anymore, just this, because it's slightly tinted and it makes my eyebrows look like they've been laminated, which they have not for a very long time. I use all their stuff. They aren't on Beauty Bay, but if anyone from Beauty Bay is watching, check them out, because it's the only product I found is good for my eyebrows. Okay, so just a pitch. And on my eyelids, I have my usual Sigma eye primer in the shade Ignite, which is one of my absolute favorite eye primers. So I'm going to start with the shade, oh my god, I'm so old I can't read. I'm going to start with a shade Blend and Snap, which is this bright pink. There's quite a lot of dust that comes off these shades when you go to pop them on, which I don't really care about. I know that's an issue for some people because it kind of makes a mess. Is that the only reason I think people have an issue with it? I don't really mind, because I'll kind of like, I'll like pick up a color and then I'll like tap the edge of a brush there just to pick up that excess. Can you hear me? I'm blocking my microphone. So I'm just going to build that up. I want to do like, you'll see. So when I do reviews like this, I never really like to talk personally about the person whose palette it is. Just because I don't want to seem like biased or unbiased or anything like that. But however, I do enjoy Nikkie's content. I think she's like her eye makeup is phenomenal. I just like her personality in general. I think she's a really good influence. That's a good person to watch. Okay, so I'm gonna take Vla, which is this bright yellow. I kind of want to see how it does. I always think with eyeshadow palettes, yellows and matte purples are a really good kind of like color to test within a palette. So I'm gonna just put that right in between here. And what I'm looking for, especially with matte colors like this, is that they don't wash each other out or blend each other out too much. Like I want them to blend together, but I don't want them to make the other one patchy. Like the blue in here, which I'm not gonna, maybe I will need to use it today actually. We'll see what happens. It's very difficult on me, and I know this sounds really stupid, but I have a very yellow undertone. Sometimes so yellow, depending what the season is. My skin changes very quickly from deeper to lighter, you know. It changes a lot. And I find yellow when I'm in this stage kind of makes me look a little bit bruised sometimes, but this yellow almost has like a neon to it, so I think it's all right. Actually, they're actually blending together really nicely. And what I kind of like about it is, this is, okay, so, how do I describe it? So they're really nicely blended together, and I'm looking for that mix. And what I really like about it is, I've only used the pink shade and I've only used the yellow, but can you see this peach that's appearing in the middle? So that to me is showing that the colors are mixing together. It isn't knocking off the other one, it's just blending with that color. So that's great. Yes, okay, let's go into, ew, which is this green. Please work, please don't be shit. So I'm actually going to tuck the blue into that inside corner, so I don't mind that this is a little bit more. The colour isn't coming out as strong as it looks in the palette. It looks more pastel, like in the palette it looks very like solidly green, like this bright green, which I kind of wish it would come out like that, but this is fine. My kind of like initial thought with this palette is when I open it up, there are quite a few colors that my eye is drawn to, and I actually want to like use them all. So that's a good sign. It is blending nicely. I'm having an overall good experience here. So I'm going to take a really tiny little brush, and I'm going to go into Amsterdam, and I'm really nervous because I used this shade before, and like I said, it went really patchy and it ruined everything. So I'm going to try that right in this corner. And I'm going to try like building up the colour first and then giving it a little blend. Okay, I'm okay. We're okay. There's a bit of fallout here. Again, I personally don't really care about that. I always do my eyes before my skin anyway. I've done my primer and moisturizer like that, but to clean up my fallout, I'll take my primer on a sponge or something like that and just wipe it off. Then all I'm doing is adding more primer and not taking away from my skincare. I wouldn't use like a makeup wipe or remover or anything like that. Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna do is I wanna Okay, so what I want to do is make that blue a little bit bigger, but first I just want to do a cut crease and make sure, I don't know why I said that. So I'm going to go in with the only product I use to do a cut crease, and that's the Revolution Cut Crease Canvas. This is one of the best products to do a cut crease, and I'm using the pure white shade, which is Halo, and I'm going to use that to cut my crease. My cut crease brush, I have used a few different ones before, but this is the Sigma Waterline Liner E17. I like it for cut creases because it is so thin and you have that really flat tip. I do have an in-depth cut crease tutorial that you can watch if you want to see how I do my cut creases. Okay, so that is that. Okay, so I want to go into the shade Pride. I think I want to take it to the inside corner, but I'm going to use it on the middle of the lid first and just see how that looks. Very nice. Very nice. It's a lot more glittery than I thought it would be. I thought it would be a bit like a more I don't know how to describe it, like wet creamier, if that makes sense. It's not a bad thing. It's a really nice texture. Just not how I expected it to be from looking at it in the palette. So I'm going to take a bit more of the blue. I took that Pride shade right out to the outside corner because I think the blue on top or vice versa is going to give it like this nice metallic-y kind of texture. Okay, Me and this blue are friends now. We weren't the other day, but now we're good friends. Did you guys watch that thing on Netflix about those two women that own that organization company? I need someone to do that in here. I have like a filming room, and in this corner here I have a big shelf, like a bookcase with all my makeup on, and then I have those Alex drawers, which are so fucking useless, by the way, for makeup. I think anyway. And then I have like a smaller shelf next to it with some more eyeshadow palettes in it. And yesterday I was like, right, I'm gonna organize this whole thing and I'm gonna make it easier to kind of like navigate my way through. I did about one shelf and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So now there's makeup all on the floor around me. But you know what they say, happy mind, tidy mind, clean, what's it? Happy, you know what I mean? So usually I would leave that kind of white strip like blank, but I'm looking at the shade Ivy and I want to kind of cover it with that. I'm going to use my Sigma Angled Pixel Concealer because it has this very unique like point to it, like edge. And I want something that's going to be precise but not too dense because I don't want to kind of ruin that shape. So I'm going to take this and very gently I really like that pink, the Pride shade on top of Amsterdam. It looks very foil-like almost. Okay, so let's do the skin and then we'll come back and do something under the eyes as well. I'm gonna see if I can use another color. Why not use as many as we can? So for my concealer, I'm gonna take my KEVYN AUCOIN Sensual Skin Enhancer, which is this here. And I'm gonna take my tapered blending brush from Sigma. This is very heavy, it's quite strong. So I'm going to tap a tiny bit in this area here, like I would anywhere, and a little bit here. Oh, and carry that across here. It smells like, I absolutely love this concealer. I think it's a really great concealer. But oh my God, it smells like old makeup. It smells like, not old hasn't gone off. It smells like, it reminds me, I think it's the smell like old Hollywood actors and actresses would have smelled while they were having their makeup done back in their 20s and 30s, you know, like that really like classic makeup smell, almost rosy, almost smells a bit like rose, but not. So you know me, I don't like full coverage on myself. I don't mind it on other people. But in honor of NikkieTutorials, I am going to do a full coverage skin today. So I'm using a full coverage concealer and I'm mixing the way I apply this. I'm using my brush and I'm using my fingers. For me, if I'm going to use full coverage on somebody, because I might not like full coverage, but if somebody is paying me to give them full coverage, I'm going to give them full coverage, you know? So by using my finger to tap in product and warm up full coverage product, I'm getting the full coverage, but I'm also getting this natural, as natural as full coverage can be, texture, because you're using the warmth from your fingers to warm up that product and give it a really nice texture. That's a great tip just for any face product. If you're finding it's looking a little bit textured around the nose, maybe around the eye area, grab your finger, don't grab your finger, it's already there, but you know, just use your finger to gently warm up that product. So I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite foundations. KEVYN AUCOIN, again, it's a foundation balm. It comes with a small brush. I think I use it and I'm cleaning it. And it's small and dense and really good to buff into the skin. I'm gonna go in with my Pat McGrath Labs brush because it's similar in a way. And this is full coverage as well, but it looks incredible on the skin. It looks really natural. Just gonna go back into my skin enhancer here and take a tiniest bit because it's like the strongest thing. And I'm just gonna fill in here because I have like, you see that little line there? I just want to make that a little bit lighter, so I'm going to fill in the area and just slightly around it. I don't want it to be too light, but I'm making sure I'm blending that out so it makes sense. So I'm going to take it up the side of the nose a little bit just so it doesn't look like a patch. So let's finish our eyes before we do blush and contour. So the shade Slasher right up here, this purple, is calling out to me. I did use a tiny bit of that the other day and I quite liked it. So I'm gonna take the purple and go here, the blue and take that underneath, and then I'll take like Pride again maybe and go in that inside corner here. So let's start with the purple. And because it is quite pigmented and you get a lot of fallout, because I've done my under eyes, I'm just gonna make sure I extra tap off any extra on my brush. I'm gonna lean forward slightly like this and look down and up into my mirror and just apply that color. Just before I add the blue or any other color, I just wanna buff that out slightly. I personally don't mind how far down that purple comes. I like a vampire who hasn't had its beauty rest kind of look under my eyes. And then I'm going to take Pride and just do a tap here. This is a lesson I learned from my friend. I usually keep all my eyeliners in my kit anyway. I have like these cylinder, like almost like pencil case like holders. But because I have so many in my YouTube kit, I keep the two kits separately. My friend Tay, who's a makeup artist, keeps all her eye pencils, and I'm sure a lot of people do, but I saw it from her, in like this pencil case thing. So I keep all mine in here. I have actually quite a lot, so I need to I ordered some other ones instead. But I just thought it was a really good tip to like organize shit. I'm just finishing this up with a pink liner, and I'm adding a blue just in the outside corner here. Okay, for my contour, I'm going in with my KEVYN AUCOIN, and this is the contour book. It's quite heavily used. You have all your kind of sculpting shades here, and like a blush and highlighters. I'm just going to use the sculpting shades. I am going to use something other than KEVYN AUCOIN as well. And I'm going for the middle shade, and this is my contour, so I'm just going to keep that close to where, you know, I want my bone structure changes. I keep getting really bad heartburn. That's because I had pizza for breakfast. Leftover. I didn't like order one. So for my blush, I'm going into the LUNAR Beauty Moon Prism blush palette. There's quite a lot of colour on the eyes, so I want to keep the lips and the cheeks quite neutral. So I'm going to go in with the shade Twilight, which is this peachy tone, which I find quite neutral to my skin tone. And I'm layering my blush and contour, so I have contour, blush, and a little highlight here. I don't want my highlight to touch my contour because we get that grey kind of tone that way. Now my face is quite long, so I don't know if you noticed when I was contouring, I kind of came down here and then made this V shape here. So with my blush, I'm just going to kind of keep it in this area here. A tiny bit on the balls of the cheek to make my cheeks stand out a little bit more. I like to place my blush like this, and then I'll go in with another brush and buff it out. And then I'm going to go into the Living My Best Light Delicate palette. This is a highlighter palette from Beauty Bay, and it has these 4 highlighter tones in here. I'm thinking of going for... yeah, let's go for First Light, which is this little one here. I like to be quite precise with my highlighter, so I'm going in with my Soft Blend 10 Sigma brush, which is this tiny blending brush, but I'm going to use it for my cheeks. This just gives such a nice soft glow to the skin. I have used this highlighter palette before, so I'm familiar with the texture. I love a good peachy tone. Peach on everyone, just sort, not like bright peach, but you know, it just kind of sorts out everything. On my nose, because I mean it doesn't dip down here, but when I look forward I feel like it does, so I always highlight this bit here and then leave a gap and then highlight the tip. I don't know why, just to level out. And then a tiny bit above the brows, never in the middle of the forehead because I'm oily and it looks like sweat on me. So on my lips, this isn't from Beauty Bay, but I'm actually going to take the Rare Beauty lip cream in the shade Courage, because I used this on my last video in a review and I just really liked the way it felt on the lip and the colour. It's almost like on me, because it's so close to my lip, it's almost like if my lips were to have their own foundation shade. I usually hate the feel of lip product, so this is just perfect for me. So I just waited for the lip to kind of settle down a little bit, and I'm going to go over with the LUNAR Beauty lip gloss in Enchantment, just because it kind of has like this bluey purple reflex, and I think it will match the eyes quite nicely. And again, I'm not usually a gloss person, but like if a gloss could be water-based, it would feel like this, you know? Okay, I'm gonna stick on some lashes and I'll be right back. Okay everyone, so this is a finished look using the NikkieTutorials and Beauty Bay palette. Nice. really, really nice. I do feel like you have to kind of take your time using this palette and some of the mattes in there, but to be honest with you, I enjoyed taking my time and doing this look. Yeah, really, really nice palette. Let me grab it. Let me zoom out as well. I think you have a great option of color here. I think that was one of the initial things. It's like, oh, color, but again, I look at it in my monitor and I hope it comes out on camera right, but it looks extremely underwhelming. But when I look at it here, it looks so bright and intense. I actually really enjoyed using this palette. I think when I used it a few days ago, I wasn't in the right headspace. And for me as a makeup artist, I've had days on set or clients where I just haven't been in the right headspace and everything's gone wrong. I do let things like that kind of affect me. So I'm glad I gave this a second chance. These lashes are giving me a bit of grief. Yeah, extremely happy with that. I like the pigmentation. I like the blendability that it actually blends. Yeah, it's great. It's a really, really nice palette. I don't really have anything else to say, to be honest with you. If you can get it, I don't know what the situation is. Like, are they restocking it or not? Or is there another drop? I have no idea. Let me know your thoughts on the palette below. And any of the other products I use in this video, I'll also link those below for you as well. Thank you so much for joining me. If there's anything you want me to review, please do leave it below and I'll see if I can do that for you. I don't need an excuse to buy new makeup, honestly. But I mean, if you're asking for it, I might as well buy it. Give this video a big thumbs up for me if you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing if you want to. You don't have to. Thanks again, everyone. Have an amazing week ahead. I'll see you very soon. Bye.